Two people invest the exact same amount every single month, $200, never more, never less. Both earn the same 7% average return. When they retire, one of them has $37,000 more than the other. Here's the part that doesn't make sense at first. The person with more money at the end invested 3 times less money out of their own pocket. Same monthly amount, same return, less total money put in, and still came out ahead by tens of thousands of dollars. There's only one variable that explains this. Not luck, not a better investment, not insider knowledge, time, specifically when each person started. And once you actually understand why that works, you'll understand the one graph that quietly separates people who build wealth from people who don't. So first, what is compound interest, really? Regular interest is simple. You put in $100, earn 7%, get $107. Compound interest asks one more question. What happens to that $107 next year? It also earns 7%, not on the original $100, on the full $107. So year 2, you don't earn $7 again. You earn $7.49. Small difference, almost nothing at first. But that new total earns interest too, and so does the next one, and the one after that. Each year, you're not just earning money, you're earning money on your money's money. For the first several years, this looks almost boring. The growth curve looks nearly flat. That's the part that fools people, because eventually, that curve stops looking flat at all. It starts bending upward, sharper and sharper, not because anything changed, because the base amount earning interest kept getting bigger, on its own, automatically, every single year. So let's go back to those two people. Person A starts investing $200 a month at age 25. They keep it up for exactly 10 years. Then they stop completely. No more new money added. Ever again. They just let whatever they already built sit there, untouched, for 30 years. Total money person A ever put in, out of pocket, $24,000. Person B does something that sounds smarter. They wait until age 35 to start. Then they invest that same $200 a month every month for 30 straight years, all the way to retirement, never missing a month. Total money person B ever put in, out of pocket, $72,000. 3 times more money invested than person A, 3 times more discipline, arguably, 3 times more sacrifice. So here's what happens by age 65. Person A, who stopped contributing after just 10 years, ends up with roughly $281,000. Person B, who contributed for 3 full decades, ends up with roughly $244,000. Person A wins by about $37,000, despite investing $48,000 less than person B total. The only difference between them was a 10-year head start. Person A's money had 40 years to compound. Person B's money only ever got 30. Those extra 10 years, right at the beginning, were worth more than the entire extra $48,000 person B put in later, because that early money wasn't just sitting there, it was compounding quietly the whole time person B hadn't even started yet. This is also the uncomfortable part of the graph. People born into money don't just have more of it, they typically have it invested earlier, sometimes decades earlier than everyone else, and the numbers behind that are bigger than most people realize. As of late 2025, the top 1% of Americans held about $55 trillion in wealth. That's roughly equal to everything owned by the bottom 90% of the country combined. But here's the number that actually matters for this graph specifically. Stock ownership is even more concentrated than wealth overall. The top 1% alone own just over half of all U.S. corporate stock, not half of the wealth, half of the actual investments compounding year over year. Meanwhile, only about 37% of American adults own any stock outside a retirement account. Most people's only exposure is a 401k, if they have one at all, which brings us back to timing. Wealthy families don't just invest more money. They often start the clock decades earlier by design. Custodial investment accounts let parents start investing for a child at birth, not at 25, not at their first job, at birth. That's not 10 years of head start like person A in our example. That can be 25, 30 years of compounding before some people even open their first account. Run that math through the same graph we just built. A head start that size isn't a slight edge. It's the entire outcome decided before the child could even talk. None of this means the people holding that wealth did something wrong. Most of them didn't personally build the system that gave them the head start either. but it does mean the graph isn't just personal finance trivia. It's a fairly accurate model of how wealth actually behaves at scale. Not because rich families are better investors, because time did the work quietly, generations before the money ever needed to prove itself. The single biggest input in this entire graph was never the amount. It was always just when did the clock start, and for a lot of people that clock started before they were even born, which means the most expensive financial mistake isn't investing badly, it's waiting until you feel ready to start at all. Every year you wait isn't just one lost year, it's one fewer year of compounding at the exact point it matters most, the beginning. You don't need $72,000 worth of discipline to win this graph. You need a 10-year head start most people never bother to take. If you made it this far, comment money. Click subscribe for new breakdowns on how money actually works every week.